farming is a unique educational tool that has been developed by the NGO, the Danish Ecological Council, together with scientists from the 2 universities and a game developer, and a consultant with real-life experience from the school. And the target group of our play is students at farmer schools and students at high schools. And these groups are 2 very different groups. In fact, you know, the high school the rural high school students, they know nothing about agricultural policy and they don't care much. And the students at the farmer school, they believe they know everything about it, but they don't care to discuss it with the urban kids. But this game, the aim of the game is in fact to bridge this gap. Also it is to teach the student about agricultural policy and the impacts of farming on environment. It's to make them understand how important that is for all of us, in fact. So, when the game starts, the students bring their laptops or their tablets to the classroom, and then they are divided into groups of 4. In every group, there are 4 characters. One of them is called Michael or Marion Farmer. Yeah, you see them here. Michael or Marion Farmer, of course, is the farmer. Then there is Sophie and Janus Yarrow. They are environmentalists. Then Alex and Anna Futuro, they are managing directors of the agribusiness. And Petra or Peter Middletown, they are local politicians and in fact mayor of the local municipality. Now when they start the game, these players, they get the message on their screen that they have now been appointed an advisory board to the national Danish government and to the EU Commission. Now they are supposed to advise about the future agricultural policy. And they're going to advise on 5 instruments. These instruments are, well, they have to decide whether we should use or allow more or less fertilizer in the fields, if there should be used more or less pesticides, if we should have more or less energy crops, and also if there should be more nature, if the nature areas should increase or maybe rather diminish. And finally, they should discuss about free-range farm animals. Should there be more of those or less? Now, you can imagine that these characters, they have very different opinions on that. They hold very different views, but they have to discuss it and they have to agree about it. And the important thing is that the students have to identify with their roles. And if you play the role of a farmer, you really have to take on his points of view. If you play the environmentalist, you have to take on those views. And you have to discuss, you have to negotiate with the others. And the thing is that they have to reach an agreement. And this might be difficult. As you know, in real life, it's also difficult. Because, well, you cannot get everything you want, but that's how life is, that's how democracy is, and that is how the game is too. So, when they vote about, they have to distribute 100 points. They get 100 points, they have to distribute between those 5 instruments, and they have to agree about it. And when they are ready to vote unanimously, they all vote, and then they get a report. A report is generated, pops up on the screen, and it tells about the consequences of the decisions on 5 parameters. So the parameters are the biodiversity, the climate, the aquatic environment, the economy, and the food production. And then maybe they get quite surprised because maybe they thought they were doing something very good for the environment, but all the farmers went bankrupt and there was no food production anymore. Or maybe the other way around, they did something good for the farmers and the economy was very good, but the environment suffered badly. And I think that politicians in real life might like to have such a report before they implement their policies. They don't get that, but the students get it, and they get the chance to play another round where they can make some wiser decisions for the future. So, in conclusion, by playing the game, the students learn about agriculture and the impacts of farming on the environment. They learn about different interests shaping the agricultural policy, and they get to understand different approaches and different political points of view, and they learn about democracy by practicing it themselves.
Thank you very much to Ulla Skålskål for that very interesting description of a role-playing game. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.